そういうのビジュアルでおむつの話。え
ああ、そうか。口移しの時に薬の効果を打ち消す薬も少々飲んでしまったのだもん。
薬の効果？
これが薬の本当の姿なのだよ。不老不死の薬の失敗作の影響で、普段はあの姿だがね。
ラスボスみたいなもん作ってた。
こうして元に戻れるのは、数十分だけなのだよ。ああ、ちなみにああ見えて、薬は3年生の科学部部長だ。
先輩？あの子が先輩で、昨日のあの人で、運命の人で、やってやっぱり、こちらこそお願いします。
土下座告白返し。とっても嬉しいのだ。
Change his luck, he turns to the Shrine of Love. During a break at school, he opens up to Asakawa, a girl he has feelings for. At first, she praises him, only to later express her disdain at the idea of dating him. This shatters Rentaru's spirit. The next day, his friend, whom we'll call Sidekick, tries to lift his spirits. Sidekick playfully mocks Rentaru's continuous failures, jokingly dubbing him a flirt hero. Welcome back to Anikazu, the ultimate destination for all your anime insights and stories. Today, we're diving into a tale of love, choices, and destiny, one that'll have you questioning the very nature of soulmates. Buckle up, because this story is a roller coaster of emotions. But before we start, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button to join the Anikazu family and get ready for a journey through the world of anime like never before. Without further ado, let's get started. A nostalgic journey into the past unveils that Rentaru's initial brush with love and confession came astonishingly early. At the tender age of 8, Sidekick, eyebrows raised in astonishment, labels him as the flirt legend of their time. Yet, deep beneath the layers of youthful confessions, Rentaru's true yearning is simple and pure. He dreams of finding that special someone with whom he can interlace his fingers, feel the warmth of their palm, and sense the rhythmic cadence of their heartbeat. Sidekick, finding it hard to fathom Rentaru's romantic misadventures, especially given his undeniable popularity and striking good looks, playfully teases and flirts with him. With a wink and a grin, Sidekick advises him to keep his chin up and navigate the tumultuous waves of high school love with strength and resilience. Distraught, Rentaru visits the Shrine of Love, pleading for a high school girlfriend. A mysterious voice offers assistance. To his surprise, the deity of the shrine reveals himself. The god assures Rentaru that his true love awaits in high school. Misunderstandings ensue when the god describes the destined girl as hot, leading Rentaru to think he's discussing food. The deity elaborates on the concept of soulmates, explaining the electrifying connection they feel upon meeting. However, men realize this connection gradually. Rentaru, with a hint of skepticism clouding his eyes, delves deeper, seeking more clarity and truth. The god, taking a deep breath, lays bare a profound revelation. Not every individual walking this earth is destined to find their soulmate. In the grand tapestry of life, only a select few, those touched by fate's fortunate brush, are preordained such a unique connection. But what follows next leaves Rentaru's heart pounding and his mind racing. The god, with a weighty pause, discloses the unimaginable. Rentaru doesn't merely have one soulmate waiting in the wings. No, there are 100 potential soulmates scattered throughout his high school, each one tied to him by the strings of fate. Struggling to digest this overwhelming information and with suspicion brewing in his mind, Rentaru, with a mischievous glint in his eye, half-jokingly warns the deity. He threatens that should this revelation prove to be a fabrication, he won't hesitate to set the very shrine they stand in ablaze, ensuring the god feels the heat of his wrath. A mere month following that profound revelation, Rentaru steps into the bustling corridors of high school, armed with excitement and apprehension. But fate, always unpredictable, wastes no time. As he navigates the sea of new faces on his inaugural day, an unintended collision with two young girls interrupts his stride. Their eyes lock, and in that fleeting moment, an electric connection surges between them, one that words struggle to encapsulate. Rentaru's heart quickens, and the deity's prophecy resonates in his mind. Could these be two of his fabled soulmates? With curiosity piqued and hopes heightened, he musters the courage to approach them. The girl with vibrant pink hair, playing up her distress, theatrically clutches her ankle, seemingly injured from their encounter. A pang of guilt crashes over Rentaru, the weight of possibly harming one of his potential soulmates threatening to drown him. However, as he hovers over her with sincere worry painted on his face, the pink-haired maiden's eyes dance with mischief and joy. She revels in the genuine concern he displays, perhaps seeing it as affirmation of their predestined bond. Despite the unfamiliarity, a pang of guilt strikes Ajo as he witnesses the girl in apparent agony. The pain he inadvertently caused a stranger burdens his conscience. As this drama unfolds, another girl, having watched the unfolding scene, experiences a surge of jealousy. Desiring a slice of the attention, she too artfully claims to have sprained her foot. With each feigned injury, Ajo's self-reproach swells, and he begins to reprimand himself, almost theatrically smacking his forehead in anguish. Your situation head-on. Spotting Inda, engrossed in her thoughts and seemingly distant, he makes his way towards her. Her startled expression is evident as he draws closer, her fingers fidgeting with a clover leaf. Inda, Ajo begins, his voice gentle, trying to read her. I noticed you looking for the clover earlier. Is there a specific reason? She looks away momentarily, her usual confident demeanor wavering. It's just a silly superstition, she deflects, attempting to sound casual. But Ajo isn't fooled. He sees the unease behind her eyes and senses the weight of an untold story. In Hanazono, he probes further, wondering about the other half of the intriguing duo. She had to take a bathroom break, Inda says a bit too quickly, her eyes darting away, betraying her nervousness. Seeing the tension in her posture, Ajo hopes to break the ice. You look like you could use a drink. Can I get you something from the vending machine? He offers, pointing towards the nearby dispenser. Her first instinct is to snap back, the remnants of their earlier tension making her hesitate. But seeing his genuine concern, she lets out a sigh. All right, she responds, her tone softening. But only if it's a soda. Ajo nods, feeling a silent victory. Their initial clash of personalities might have been rocky, but he senses a budding understanding. This could be the start of smoothing out the wrinkles in their complicated relationship. Soon after, Hanazono reemerges, curious about Ajo's late presence at school. He offers her a drink, but she's focused on the intimate implications of sharing it. As they bicker over the drink size, an accidental spill ruins any chance of an indirect kiss. Hanazono, in an unexpected turn, takes Ajo's hand and confesses her feelings, claiming it was love at first sight and hinting that she's not the only admirer. Overwhelmed, Ajo is processing this when lose composure. He recalls that most men love the simple act of holding hands. Not wanting to be left out, he reaches for Inda's hand. Inda, however, claims she's just humoring him to gain his trust, intending to shock him later on. As it turns out, Inda is an electrodeer with electric capabilities. Though she's standoffish, deep down, she has genuine feelings for Ajo. The feelings are mutual, with both Ajo and Hanazono thinking of it as the happiest day of their lives. The trio chat about the lovely weather, catching the attention of a passing lady. Surprised that the younger generation is talking about the weather, she tries to address the girls formally by their last names. Hanazono, however, asks to be addressed by her first name, Hikari. Ajo, embarrassed, obliges and is called Rentaro in return. Inda hesitates but eventually follows suit, asking to be called Karen. They continue their banter with first names, drawing attention from other students. Upon entering the school, they witness a student fleeing from the strict vice principal. Haraki mentions that the vice principal will chase rule breakers relentlessly. Once caught, the vice principal administers a punishing kiss that causes physical damage due to its intensity. Because of her speed and methods, she's nicknamed the Sonic Witch. The conversation takes a romantic turn when Hikari asks Rentaro if he's ever been kissed. Since he hasn't, Hikari and Karen subtly compete to be his first. During lunch, Hikari offers Rentaro some of her homemade omelet, which he praises as the best he's ever had. Karen, not wanting to be outdone, offers a cookie but accidentally pokes Rentaro in the eye. The scene ends with comedic tension, hinting at the love triangle's complications. With the plan set, Rentaro puts it into motion. He turns his back, blaring the song My First Kiss, while Hikari and Karen decide their positions based on the roll of the dice. Another layer of perspective. Or maybe, she began, her eyes reflecting the hues of the setting sun. It's the universe's way of reminding us that sometimes the journey, the story leading up to an event, is far more poignant than the event itself. Rentaro, absorbing the wisdom of his friends, took a deep breath, letting the air fill his lungs before exhaling slowly. His face, which earlier mirrored confusion and frustration, now showed signs of realization. You might be onto something, he responded thoughtfully. All this time, we've been chasing after this one singular moment, this one kiss. And in doing so, perhaps we've overlooked the beauty of the moments leading up to it, the joy in our shared experiences and the memories we've been creating together. The trio, each lost in their own reflections, allowed a peaceful silence to envelop them. The world around them seemed to stand still as they stood shoulder to shoulder, gazing at the horizon. It was in that tranquil moment that they truly grasped the essence of their journey, understanding that sometimes the build-up, the anticipation, and the journey towards a goal can hold more beauty, more depth, and be far more rewarding than the achievement of the goal itself. They then decide to spend the rest of the day just enjoying each other's company, walking around the school, sharing stories, and having a good time. The subject of the first kiss becomes a fond memory of their adventurous day, and they decide to let fate take its course. In the days and weeks that follow, their relationship continues to deepen and grow. The unique recommendations, particularly focusing on romance novels, his preferred genre. He explains his desire to find a romance book with a satisfying ending where the characters overcome difficulties and live happily ever after. Finally, he requests a suggestion from the girl, and her eyes light up when she realizes she can be of help. However, she becomes overly enthusiastic and selects more books than necessary. This startles him, but she quickly apologizes for her overenthusiasm and suggests he take the book he wants. Rentaro insists on reading all the books since she went through the trouble of selecting them. He proceeds to borrow them using his library card, but when he asks for the card, the girl explains that it would take a week to issue a new one. Rentaro regrets having to deal with such bureaucracy. The librarian clutches his chosen book and approaches him, offering to lend it to him. Initially, Rentaro insists that the book is hers and not from the library. However, she persists in extending the book towards him, and he realizes that she is indeed lending it to him. She reaches out to retrieve it. A few days pass, and Shizuka ends up seeing Rentaro with his girlfriends. Hikari comments on how tired he has looked recently, and he attributes it to being very busy and going to bed late. They both become suspicious and blush, but they assure him everything is fine. Hikari kisses his face to share her energy with him, and Shizuka watches from a corner. Rentaro hugs Hikari and thanks her for her help, with Kurien attempting to get in on the affection, mentioning that she has a lot of energy to share with him. When she goes in for a kiss, she accidentally headbutts his chin. She apologizes, but he appreciates the gesture and calls her a war goddess. Seeing Rentaro with the girls, Shizuka regrets that he already has a girlfriend and feels inferior once again. She remembers a time when a group of young people called her problematic for always communicating with that book. They asked her to speak like people, and when she didn't comply, one of the girls slapped Shizuka, saying she would kiss given their proximity. Noticing Shizuka's absorption in her own world, Rentaro empathizes with her potential struggle and immediately bonding with the group. Yet he remains optimistic, ready to navigate the complexities of forming new friendships. He muses on the tendency of people to force certain behaviors when meeting someone new, as a defense mechanism to avoid revealing true thoughts that might trigger disdain or disapproval in others. Rentaro suggests that it's less complicated to share one's true self with someone who has already seen a glimpse of your genuine emotions, as it overcomes the fear of judgment and simplifies the relationship. So, Rentaro pulls out a deck of cards and proposes a playful twist on the traditional game of Old Maid, suggesting they introduce a playful punishment. The winner gets to tickle the loser. He reflects that laughter is a natural pathway to revealing genuine emotions, and he coins the initiative Operation Tickle Laugh Bonding. The girls quickly concur, the prospect of Rentaro's tickles spurring excitement. Observing their eager anticipation, Rentaro senses an alliance forming against him in the game. As they begin, Rentaro emerges victorious in the initial round, with Casserie as the unfortunate loser. She prompts him to carry out her penalty swiftly, attempting to mask her delight at the prospect. As Rentaro begins to tickle her, she claims immunity to the sensation. Nevertheless, he perceives her stoicism as a playful challenge and escalates his efforts. Casserie responds by playfully collapsing onto the floor, inviting him an ideal chance to explore Rentaro's reactions more boldly, reflecting that an accidental overstep would likely be forgiven given the situation. Hikari speculates whether Rentaro is drawn to Shizuka's reserved nature, observing Shizuka's canine-like face, her delicate movements, and soft voice, contemplating the authenticity of such mannerisms. To Hikari, Shizuka embodies a sense of vulnerability that evokes a protective instinct, likening her to an adorable stuffed animal worthy of care. Acknowledging Shizuka's potent appeal, Hikari recognizes her as a formidable rival, far surpassing Kairin in this unexpected competition. As the tickling session concludes, Rentaro admits to his own amusement, overcome by laughter to the point of needing a break, and he excuses himself towards the bathroom, still chuckling from the playful encounter. Witnessing Rentaro's hasty retreat to the bathroom, Hikari teases, wondering aloud if his urgency was due to overwhelming joy. Meanwhile, Kairin, casting a stern glance at Shizuka, inquires about her reserved actions during the tickling. Shizuka denies acting any different because of their presence, but Kairin challenges her, pointing out that Shizuka was the only one who refrained from seeking a deeper connection with Rentaro during the game, merely poking him when she had the chance to touch more. Kairin jumps in, questioning Shizuka's timid approach, labeling it foolish, with Hikari adding that Shizuka's hesitation was likely due to Kairin's own intimidating behavior. Kairin defensively denies this, with Hikari making a biting remark about Kairin's obliviousness to her own loudness. Shizuka then confesses her reluctance to overstep, as Rentaro was already in a relationship with the others before her arrival. Kairin acknowledges this but stresses that Shizuka is now equally his girlfriend, expressing frustration at Shizuka's self-restraint. Kairin argues that it's unpleasant to see Shizuka holding back her approaches the threshold of the room. The sight of his cell phone brings a sense of relief, quickly followed by the unexpected presence of Ai, an anomaly in his otherwise predictable routine. The conversation that follows is a dance of social cues and unspoken questions, with Rentaro extending an invitation to view the test scores together. Ai, with the serene confidence of one who knows their capabilities, sees no value in the verification of her achievements. It's a moment of silent realization for Rentaro. Ai's self-assurance and disinterest in validation might just be the hallmark of a soulmate, resonating with his own experiences of profound connection. When Rentaro, later on, encounters the list of top performers and discovers Ai's name crowning the chart, his admiration for her intellect is matched by his intrigue in her solitary nature. Shizuka's description paints Ai as an academic island, her brilliance casting a long shadow, while Inda's remarks, though secondhand, sketch an image of a young woman whose life is a study in disciplined excellence, almost to the point of being machine-like in her efficiency. In the shared space of the biology lab, the dynamic between Rentaro and Ai becomes a microcosm of their contrasting worldviews. As Rentaro urges the abandonment of the textbook, he discovers Ai's meticulous replication of cell diagrams, a visual echo of her steadfast reliance on proven methods over experiential learning. His attempt to nudge her towards the tangible aspects of their assignment is met with resistance, as Ai questions the necessity of repeating observations already established by scientific forebears. It takes the subtle prompt of academic decorum, with Rentaro's mention of their observant professor, to coax Ai into participating in the hands-on aspect of their class. Throughout this exchange, a delicate balance is struck between Rentaro's appreciation for the tangible, sensory aspect, the unpredictable nature of human emotions that now seem to intrude with the image of Rentaro. She chides herself for this lapse, for even in the quiet, disciplined realm of her studies, she finds the shadow of Rentaro looming, his presence an unwelcome yet compelling force that disrupts her meticulous order. The following day, Ai confronts this disruption head-on. Her confession of love to Rentaro is much an act of defiance against her own structured reality as it is an admission of her feelings. Yet, in the same breath, she retreats to the safety of logic, discounting the very notion of romance as a frivolous teenage fancy, incompatible with the lofty academic aspirations she has set for herself. Her words paint a picture of love as a detour, an unnecessary deviation from the path of scholarly pursuit. Rentaro, however, stands as a bastion of the heart's resilience, challenging Ai's attempts to rationalize away their connection. He recognizes the paradox in her admission, a contradiction that hints at a deeper struggle within Ai, a battle between the head and the heart. Rentaro's counter-proposal is a testament to his belief in the transformative power of love, offering to lay down his affections should he, Hikari seeking reassurance of her importance, and Shizuka being indifferent. They all humorously tackle the topic of loyalty and potential betrayal. The conversation shifts to planning a group outing, possibly to a pool park, as Rentaro faces the logistical challenge of organizing an event for his unconventional family. That's the essence of Rentaro's tale, a blend of emotion, reason, and unquantifiable experiences within his growing love circle. After her class, Kairin finds herself wandering into a swimwear shop, her mind buzzing with thoughts about the upcoming pool park outing. The suggestion for the trip had come unexpectedly from Hikari, catching Kairin off guard, especially since she didn't own any swimwear suitable for such a social event. Her past pool experiences were limited to casual visits with friends, none of which required anything beyond simple, functional swimwear. As she browses through the aisles of colorful and trendy bikinis, Kairin can't help but feel a bit out of place. The thought of wearing such fashionable swimwear triggers a mix of excitement and discomfort in her. She's always preferred comfort over style, and these eye-catching bikinis seem to embody everything she wasn't accustomed to. Despite this, a part of her can't help but be drawn to the bold designs and vibrant patterns. Corrine's internal debate is noticed by a store assistant, who approaches with a gentle smile, offering assistance. When Corrine expresses her uncertainty, the assistant is quick to apologize, feeling responsible for not being able to match Corrine's expectations and comfort. As Corrine continues her hesitant exploration of the store, a particular bikini catches her eye. It's a standout piece, unique in its design, with a playful yet elegant pattern that seems to contrast with her usual style. For a moment, she considers trying it on, but self-doubt creeps in. She can't shake off the feeling that such a cute and stylish bikini wouldn't suit her. In her mind, she imagines what Rintaro
is a human magnet, objects around the lab gravitating towards him with an unseen force. Casserie watches, her eyes gleaming with the thrill of scientific validation as her invention proves successful. However, the triumph is short-lived as Casserie warns of a side effect, a 3-day cold. Rintaro, now a center of magnetic attraction, voices his complaints. But Casserie, unfazed by his discomfort, reveals another twist. She informs him that by taking a pill with the opposite magnetic charge, they would become irresistibly attracted to each other. As the force of the magnetism draws them closer, Rintaro's initial amusement turns to awkwardness. He finds himself inescapably tethered to Casserie, their proximity intensifying his unease. Casserie, sensing his discomfort, reassures him that the magnetic effect is only temporary, lasting a mere 10 minutes. Rintaro breathes a sigh of relief, but his respite is short-lived. Casserie, with a sudden seriousness, confides her own dilemma she has been holding in her urine, a predicament she's prepared for with the unconventional solution of wearing a diaper. This peculiar revelation adds yet another layer to their already strange interaction, leaving Rintaro in a state of bewildered contemplation as he ponders the bizarre turn of events in his quest to find the mysterious girl. In a twist of events, Casserie, unable to hold back any longer, accidentally urinates on Rintaro. Embarrassed, she quickly informs him that the drug's effects will soon fade. As they wait, Casserie passionately discusses her love for chemistry, showcasing her diverse creations like night vision drugs and a formula causing delayed voice effects. Observing her enthusiasm, Rintaro finds himself mesmerized, even though he's on a quest to find his soulmate. Despite Casserie not being his destined partner, he can't help but feel drawn to her. Caught staring, Casserie playfully teases Rintaro about being smitten by her cuteness. He inquires how she knows, and she reveals that the tea he drank contained a love potion. Following this revelation, Casserie confesses her feelings for Rintaro and proposes they date. Overwhelmed, Rintaro begins to vomit, upsetting Casserie. The sensation, he gently places her on his lap, tenderly stroking her ears. For Nano, Casserie concocts a potion to make her hair more manageable, suiting her efficiency-loving nature. Nano uses her newly manageable hair to clean some dirt off Rintaro's face, enchanting him with its scent. She then efficiently pulls him in for a kiss, expressing her fondness for the potion. Casserie, arriving with multiple potions, explains that each lasts about 10 minutes but cautions Nano against overuse, as it could lead to baldness. Nano humorously considers the efficiency of being bald, but Rintaro assures her of his love regardless of her hair. As they gather for a discussion, Corrine expresses amazement at the effectiveness of Casserie's drugs. Curious about the breast enlargement potion, Casserie shows her a photo simulation, which disappoints Corrine due to its muscle-like appearance. Casserie shares her ambition to join a research team and develop more advanced drugs. During their conversation, Casserie feels the urge to urinate but dismisses it, citing her diaper. Rintaro, concerned, urges her to use the bathroom. She hesitantly agrees, leaving Hikari to prepare tea. Casserie cautions that each person's tea is different, hinting at a gender-specific brew. Rintaro, noticing Casserie's discomfort, encourages her to hurry to the restroom. She rushes off, instructing them to differentiate the teas by the bottles. Hikari, examining the bottles, concludes the smaller one is for Rintaro, while the larger is for the girls. Upon returning, Casserie is relieved to see Rintaro drinking what she believes is the correct tea. However, she soon realizes the teas were switched and urges everyone to spit out their drinks. Rintaro downplays the mix-up, suggesting it's not a significant concern. In Rentaro's mind, the difference in teas was merely about taste. However, Casserie clarifies that Rentaro's tea contained a drug intended to make him kiss the person he loves. She had hoped this would lead to a genuine kiss with him, distinguishing it from their previous encounter in the library. Rintaro asserts that he doesn't need such concoctions to want to kiss her, as his feelings are already sincere. Hearing this, Casserie excitedly jumps onto his lap for a kiss. This act sparks jealousy in Carrie, and she, along with the other girls, also yearn to kiss Rintaro. Casserie, realizing her miscalculation, warns Rentaro of the drug's potent effects. She explains that it intensifies the male libido towards physical desire, while in females, it heightens the need for emotional fulfillment through kissing, effectively turning them into kissing zombies. Casserie advises that if the girls catch Rentaro, they'll be insatiable in their desire to kiss him. Rentaro, half-jokingly, considers this scenario a paradise, but Casserie stresses the urgency of neutralizing the drug to prevent permanent effects. She estimates it takes about an hour for the drug to fully affect their systems, depending on the individual. Thus, a unique twist on a Resident Evil-like scenario unfolds, with the girls transformed into a different kind of zombie. So that was it for the video. If you liked it, make sure to subscribe to the channel Anikazu and write down in the comments if you want to see more to this anime.
As the girls close in, Rentaro is urged by Yakuza to flee. Together, they dash through a door, securing it behind them. She then reveals that creating 4 doses of the antidote on site is impossible. Their only option is to evade the Kiss zombies and head for the chemistry lab. Evading their pursuers temporarily, they head towards the lab. However, the girls unexpectedly confront them. Yakuza produces a corrosive substance from his pocket, capable of causing excruciating pain and skin damage. Rentaro, however, strongly objects to its use and instead opts for a diversion. They manage to outpace the girls once more, leading to another pursuit. Rentaro, in his hurried escape, can't help but notice the abnormal speed of their pursuers. The girls, once his friends, now exhibit superhuman capabilities, a side effect of their transformation into something beyond human, unbound by the usual physical limits. As he ponders this, an unexpected encounter unfolds. An elderly woman, eccentric in her demeanor, suddenly lunges towards them with the intent to kiss. Yakuza, ever ready, quickly utilizes a corrosive substance in defense. However, the plan goes awry. The woman, having just applied her makeup, is unexpectedly resilient to the chemical attack. Her reaction is one of sheer fury, her visage transforming into something almost unrecognizable. Rentaro, in a moment of grim poetry, compares her enraged expression to an abyss, deep and terrifying, staring back at them. Casserie, witnessing this, comes to a startling realization. The makeup on the woman's skin acted as an unexpected shield, rendering the corrosive substance ineffective. Rentaro, observing this, muses aloud on the limitations of science when faced with such extraordinary situations. Despite this setback, they manage to evade the woman, whose situation cannot ignore her plight. He rushes back to her, concern etched on his face. As he kneels beside her, he notices the alarming redness spreading across her forehead, a stark contrast to her pale skin, a clear indication of her injury. With a sense of urgency, Rentaro gently lifts Shizuka, carrying her to the infirmary with a surprising ease that belies his own stress. Once there, he carefully tends to her wounds, applying first aid with a deftness that suggests a familiarity with medical procedures. However, as Shizuka slowly regains consciousness, the effects of the zombie kiss virus become evident. Her eyes, once filled with confusion, now burn with an unnatural intensity as she leans in to kiss Rentaro. Rentaro, caught off guard, tries to pull away, but Shizuka's persistence is overwhelming. Her actions, driven by the virus, clash with the memories of the friend he once knew, causing a turmoil within him. He momentarily loses sight of his mission, torn between his duty and a realization that adds a new layer of complexity to their predicament. Through this harrowing experience, Rentaro gains insights into the nature of the virus, insights that may prove crucial in their fight against this unusual epidemic. The journey ahead is fraught with uncertainty, but Rentaro's resolve remains steadfast, fueled by the need to save his friends and restore normalcy. Rentaro surmises that the intense interaction between Kurain and Hikari might stem from love, not just friendship. Contemplating this, he watches them momentarily before realizing his urgency to reach the chemistry lab. Upon reaching the lab, he encounters Nano at the door and quickly retreats, concealing himself in a closet. Nano, not finding anyone outside, moves on. Rentaro, aware that he must act quickly to avoid detection, pins his hopes on causing trouble with her drugs and revealing her financial ruin. Rentaro must now find a way to outsmart Nano, save Casserie, and reverse the effects of the zombie kiss. In the midst of their crisis, Casserie, a member of the chemistry club, confesses her feelings to Rentaro, expressing her love and her reluctance to cause him any trouble. In a drastic decision, she vows to cease developing drugs forever. Amidst this emotional moment, she recalls possessing a dose of the reversal drug. Rentaro is relieved, realizing this single dose could be key in confronting Nano and accessing the lab. He praises Casserie's brilliance. However, Casserie unexpectedly consumes the potion herself, explaining that it's to revert to her normal size, making her unrecognizable to Nano. As Casserie stands close to Rentaro, he becomes noticeably flustered due to their physical proximity. Casserie clarifies that the effects of her sip of the reversal drug will soon fade, and if she reverts to a child while under its influence, Nano might discover their plan. Casserie then devises a new strategy to subdue Nano, intending to surprise her with her altered appearance. As anticipated, Nano pays no attention to Casserie in her changed form. Casserie attempts to restrain Nano with tape, but the plan backfires, and Nano overpowers her instead. Rentaro's hope dwindles as Casserie, essential for creating more of the reversal drug, is now captured. In a twist of fate, Rentaro spots some of the spilled reversal drug on the floor. Frustrated yet spurred into action, he flees, with Nano in pursuit. He manages to elude her by ducking into a room, seeking refuge and contemplating his next move in this high-stakes game of survival and strategy. Nano's relentless pursuit leads her to breach the room Rentaro is hiding in, ultimately managing to kiss him. This dramatic moment is punctuated by the appearance of fake credits on the screen, adding a cinematic twist to the unfolding events. However, the narrative takes incident despite their apparent mutual attraction. Casserie, feeling responsible for the chaos caused by her drug, apologizes to everyone, but Rentaro reassures her, emphasizing that it was also her invention that facilitated their return to normalcy. He encourages her not to abandon her passion for creating drugs, taking responsibility for any future mishaps her inventions might cause. He expresses his admiration for her passion, a key reason for his affection towards her. This heartfelt exchange leaves the other girls speechless. Casserie, moved by Rentaro's words, embraces him, declaring her love for him and her passion for drug creation. The scene concludes with Casserie affectionately kissing Rentaro, bringing a tender resolution to the adventure. The story wraps up as another entertaining episode on their channel, blending humor, romance. One late afternoon, two girls are talking, expressing amazement over something yet to be disclosed. The following day, Rentaro visits Lovazono Flower Park, captivated by its beauty. Nano remarks that it's an ideal location to observe a diverse range of plants. Meanwhile, Casserie intends to gather different nectars for her pharmaceutical research. Elsewhere, other girls are seen absorbed in the park's scenic views. Rentaro thanks Hikari for recommending the park, and she acknowledges its worthiness of discussion. Indeed, Hikari had also been eager to bring him here. Their conversation is interrupted when an announcement over the intercom reveals the park's upcoming monthly event, the Bouquet Toss. Hikari explains that it's one of the park's main attractions, where the person catching the bouquet gets to wear a wedding dress adorned with flowers from the park.
So if you enjoyed this anime clip, please support the channel by subscribing and leave a like to this video so that YouTube can know you're enjoying this video and recommend this video to other people. So tell me in the comments what you think, and thank you very much for watching this video until the end. So